Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Chris Garceau, your go-to loan officer. I make these videos to make the mortgage process clear, simple, and stress-free for you. Today we're doing something very special. I put out a call for your most burning mortgage questions, and boy did you deliver. We got so many fantastic questions, but I've narrowed it down to the top 5 most asked questions that I see come across my desk every single day. So grab a coffee, maybe a notepad, because I've got some answers for you. Let's get started with question number 1. How much home can I actually afford? This is the $1 million question, right? Or maybe the $250,000 question. The simplest way lenders look at this is through your debt to income ratio, or DTI. We look at 2 main things. Number 1, your gross monthly income. That's your income before taxes. And number 2, your monthly debts. Things like car payments, credit card minimums, student loan payments, but not things like utilities or groceries, and that's often misunderstood. Generally, lenders like to see your total monthly debt payments, including your new estimated mortgage payment, stay below a certain percentage of your gross monthly income. This often falls around the 36 to 43% mark, sometimes higher depending on the loan program and your credit. But it's not just about what lender approves you for, it's also about what you're comfortable with monthly. You can use online calculators, but you can always have a conversation with a loan officer early on to get a personalized estimate.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, moving on to question number 2, another very popular one. What credit score do I need to buy a house? This is where it gets a little nuanced, and it depends on the type of loan that you're looking for. For FHA loans, you can typically qualify with a credit score as low as 580 for a standard down payment, or even 500 with a larger down payment. For conventional loans, most lenders are looking for a solid 620. For VA loans, which I specialize in, often don't have a strict minimum set by the VA itself, but most lenders will look for right around the 620 mark or higher. However, same with FHA, if you have a history of on-time payments, typically for the last year, you're going to be okay. Or maybe you had some life event that threw your credit out of whack a few years ago. You might still be able to qualify. However, remember this, a higher credit score will almost always get you a better interest rate. So even if you qualify, aim to improve your score if you can, as it could save you thousands over the life of the loan. Moving on. Question number 3 is all about the initial step. What's the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval? There is a crucial distinction. A pre-qualification is a very basic, informal estimate. You provide some general income and debt info, and the lender gives you a rough idea of what you might qualify for. No credit pulls, no verification of documents, it's just a quick chat. A pre-approval is the real deal. For this, we'll actually pull your credit, verify your income with pay stubs and W-2s, and confirm your assets. You'll get a formal letter stating the exact loan amount that you're approved for. This letter is gold when you're making an offer on a home, as it shows the sellers you're a serious and qualified buyer. Always get pre-approved before you start seriously looking at homes. Next up, question number 4, a big one for many. How much money do I need for a down payment? This is another it depends answer, but let me break it down for you by loan type. Conventional loans typically require a minimum of a 3 to 5% down. If you put less than 20% down, you'll generally pay private mortgage insurance or PMI. FHA loans require a minimum of 3.5% down. In VA loans, this is one of the biggest benefits for our veterans. It's 0 down payment for eligible borrowers and no PMI. USDA loans also offer a 0 down payment for eligible properties in rural areas, but like FHA, will have a mortgage insurance requirement. So while 20% down is often seen as the gold standard to avoid PMI on a conventional loan, it's absolutely not required to buy a home. Actually, it's more uncommon to have less than 20% down. Let's wrap it up with one final question. Question number 5 delves into what can be a confusing area. What are closing costs and who pays for them? Closing costs are a collection of fees paid at the end of your real estate transaction beyond the down payment. They typically range from 2 to 5% of the loan amount, so make sure you plan for them. Closing costs can include lender fees like origination, processing, or underwriting, third-party fees like an appraisal, credit report, title insurance, escrow, and attorney fees if your state requires that, and prepaid items, things like your initial property taxes and homeownership premiums. As for who pays, typically the buyer pays most of the closing costs. However, it's negotiable. You can often ask the seller to contribute towards your closing costs We call this seller concessions, especially in a buyer's market. You can also sometimes roll certain closing costs into your loan or receive lender credits in exchange for a slightly higher interest rate. Keep in mind, different loan types allow for different seller concession amounts. Some depend on down payment, and some have small nuances, so always check with your lender to find out how much you can ask for. Of course, this is very basic, but sometimes basic is all you need. And that wraps up our top 5 mortgage questions Q&A. Hope this video answered some of your biggest concerns and helped demystify the mortgage process for you even just a little bit. If you have more questions, drop them in the comments below. I read every single one, and your questions inspire future video topics. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more mortgage insights, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And of course, if you're thinking about buying a home, refinancing, or just want to chat about a specific situation, my contact information is in the description below. I'd love to help you on your homeownership journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.